Hey guys, it's Siege over at Airdog. Today we're going to be installing our Diesel RX boost compensation pressure regulator kit in conjunction with a 5G 165 on a 2006 Dodge. While we will be installing this on an Airdog 165 5G, this will actually work with your flow-through style pumps as well and applicable on many applications. So what this is going to be used for is if you are having a fuel pressure drop, we can actually add air pressure to our diaphragm fuel pressure regulator to increase the fuel pressure with the boost pressure. This will allow you to stretch a pump out, support a lot more horsepower. Another reason why something like this would be useful is on your higher fuel pressure style applications such as P pumps and high pressure Fords. You can actually drive around on a lower base pressure. That'll increase the longevity of the pump, reduce the strain off the pump. But whenever the fuel pressure is demanded for power, whenever you come in a boost, the fuel pressure will climb and will maintain steady until you return back to a low boost pressure style situation. The basics of this installation, if you look at the bottom of your air pressure regulator, you're going to have an inlet and outlet, and you'll have two gauge ports. It will come with two 1/8" MPTs to plug these gauge ports if you're not going to be using one. The inlet side of this is going to be coming from your intake horn, your intake shelf, Y bridge, wherever on the intake side of your engine is pressurized, whatever's applicable for your application. And then the outlet side is what's going to be going to your Airdog fuel pressure regulator itself. This is basically going to be a 1-to-1 PSI ratio, meaning that 1 PSI of boost pressure through this air pressure regulator, which is fully adjustable, will be 1 PSI of fuel pressure. So you'll fine tune this in for the output flow that is needed to increase the fuel pressure to where you would like. One thing to note, guys, is this is only going to be applicable if you're using a diaphragm fuel pressure regulator. It could be an external, or they are integrated into our Raptor 4Gs as well as our Airdog 5Gs. Included in this kit is going to be your installation instructions, the air regulator itself, the air regulator mounting bracket with lock ring. There'll be an assortment of 1/4" airline push lock fittings, as well as a section of that 1/4" air push lock style hose. So we'll get you underneath the truck and we'll begin this installation. Now that we're underneath the truck here, we're going to determine where we want to mount the air regulator itself. So we have the air regulator mounting bracket. We found a little convenient spot here. We're just going to key it up and over the Airdog cradle bracket. Line it up where we want it, and we'll scribe a line. This customer has different powder coated brackets than you may have, but still be able to scribe that. We'll drill these, and we'll use some machine screws to actually bolt the regulator directly to your Airdog bracket. So in your diaphragm fuel pressure regulator, there's going to be a 16th MPT port. We went ahead and threaded in our 1/4" push lock airline fitting. Note on your 5G originally, this is going to be pointing downward. If you would like to locate it at any orientation, you can actually loosen these 4 bolts and spin it as you need, so we have it facing straight towards our air regulator. So now that we have our bracket mounted, we're going to use our air regulator mounting nut. You'll thread it down and tighten it to the regulator bracket itself. So now that we have the regulator mounted, also note this can go anywhere in line. This basically just has to go from the intake, the boost pressure source, to the diaphragm regulator. So it can be mounted anywhere in line. We're going to make the line from the regulator to the diaphragm regulator itself. So this is going to be a little bit tough to see. It's going to be a short line behind the pump, but we'll get this made and we'll get back with you. On this particular application, being a Cummins, we're going to go into the intake horn itself. So we're going to start by removing the intake horn. We're going to drill and tap an 1/8" MPT port into this horn. If you do have an aftermarket intake, a lot of times they will have a pre-drilled and tapped hole for you. So it'd be a little bit easier to just pull a plug out, and then we're going to install one of those 1/8", 1/4" airline push lock style fittings. So we went ahead and got an 1/8" MPT port drilled and tapped in this intake horn and got our straight fitting here. We're going to go ahead and get this back in the truck. We'll connect our push lock hose to this and we'll drop it back down. This will go to the other side of that air regulator. So we've already completed the outlet of the regulator to the Airdog. Now we're going to do from the boost reference to the inlet of that regulator. So we went ahead and shoved the excess of this line down through the engine bay. So we're gonna go ahead and connect it to that 1/8 inch push lock port, or I'm sorry, 1/8 inch MPT 1/4 inch push lock port we showed earlier. So just shove it in there, went ahead and secured. We're gonna raise the truck back up, determine the length we need to the regulator, cut it, connect it, and we're done. We'll be able to start the vehicle and fine tune the regulator. As you watched, we went ahead and got this line routed down to the pump itself. So we'll go ahead and get it installed into the quick connect style fitting. Alrighty, and guys, when we're talking about adjusting these regulators, you're actually gonna pull up on this cap, it'll unlock it. It's clockwise to increase the pressure, counterclockwise to decrease the pressure. You will have to get just a little bit on there to start, your pressure range, but once you get it, basically against the spring, it'll be very fine adjustments, maybe 1/4 to 1/2 turn at a time to dial it into your, goal fuel pressure. So as you've seen, we've got this installation buttoned up. This vehicle will be driving around at 15 PSI. When we come into boost, it'll come up to 20 PSI to make sure that the CP3 is always happy. Again, this can be used to stretch out a little bit smaller pump you may have for higher horsepower, as well as with the 225G, we've seen over 2,000 horsepower using this boost compensation kit.